All right, so let's get started. We have Sergio driving this weekend, doing his Lyft quests and doing his results on the 70/30. Now, this was your I accept everything for 20 trips and see what
No.
happens?
I actually did not do that. What I did is I applied the second P of the, here are my numbers. Let's apply the second P of the three Ps: patience, position, and planning. I don't get scheduled trips, so I can't plan now. I cannot be patient just for the fact that there's no surge in LA. I haven't seen surge in LA other than New Year's or Halloween special days. So being patient and cherry picking is not going to work, right? But what I did is I applied the second P, meaning when I was accepting a trip, I made sure that it puts me in a place that I can get another decent trip. Now, I've discovered a whole bunch of things this weekend by driving for Lyft. First of all, this is one driver, me in one market, but LA market is horrible market right now. From being one of the top 5 markets, I think we're probably bottom 5 market. I haven't seen a ride challenge or a ride streak or any bonus actually from Lyft for months now, right? And rightfully so, because I don't drive full time. Maybe they're feeding their full-time drivers better than me, which actually I agree with, right? And they should be. They're doing bulk of the work. So I was online for 8 hours. I was active for 6 hours, 5 hours and 54 minutes, which puts me at 75% utilization rate. I got tipped on 2 trips. Out of 14 trips, 12 were ready to go. 2 made me wait about a minute, which was great. Thank you to all the passengers who are ready to go always. And here are my numbers: 118.66 book miles, 5 hours and 54 minutes. Let's say 6 hours book time, 14 trips. Now, if you take the 149.26, that includes tips divided, by 6 hours, that's exactly $25 per active hour. So when Mr. Risher says nationwide, on average, everybody's earning 30 to 32 per active hour, I can't even get there. And as per my online hours, 8 hours online, I was at like $18 per online hour. That's what the market is in LA. And that's with me picking trips, ending places that I knew I was going to get a decent trip. So I think we lost Chris now. So $149 or $150 for 6 active hours. 118 miles, 150 divided by 18 is about $1.25 a mile, which is decent. Whatever it is. There were a couple of comfort trips in there. I did not get any airport trips. And then I put a video up on Sunday, which has gotten like crazy popular, which was, should people continue doing rideshare with these numbers? These are the best I can do in LA. This is not drunk hours. I work between 10 a.m. and 3 p.m. So, decent hours, good weather, people going out. And then one other reason I wanted to do this is, for me, like, we have Crossfire coming up, okay? We actually debated this with Harry. $18 per online hour after my $7 per hour expenses, because that's what it takes my car to run, $7. I'm at 11. Now, with the risks that I'm taking on, that 120 extra miles that I drove, are the risks commensurate to pay these days? And I don't think it is. And we're a rideshare channel, and I put up a video, and it got like crazy amount of views and amazing engagement, 600 comments already in about a day. And I said, should I go flip burgers versus keep doing rideshare? Because after expenses, I'm at $11 an hour, and in LA, minimum wage is 17. And a lot of people said, yeah, I'm looking for a W-2. Yeah, I'm looking for a W-2. Maybe it is time to look for a W-2, because this is the best I can do in LA for those hours. And without incentives and without anything, it's not better. I can't do better than this. And I'm sorry to say it, but that's reality. Everybody needs a reality check these days, that it without incentives and drive, these are all base trips. There was no surge, right? So if I'm driving base trips, this is the best I can do. That's what it is. That's reality. And that's reality for many of you in many cities. Do you want to continue driving for after expenses for $11 an hour, or you want to go stand at Target, make $18 an hour with no risk, right? So actually, it's in part of the debate coming up on Crossfire. I don't think it's worth it. I really don't. I'm not addicted to it. And this is on a weekend. In the weekday, probably numbers would be worse, right? So, I mean, that's everybody's individual decision to do, but put the screenshot up one more time. And then I wanted to see that Hocus Pocus 70-30 split Lyft introduced. I call it Hocus Pocus because it's truly Hocus Pocus. On 14 trips, according to Lyft, they paid $88.28 in estimated external expenses. The passenger paid about $282. Total paid. That does not include tips, obviously. The breakdown is on the right-hand screenshot. So according to Lyft, all of that is taxes, government fees, which you guys can see $1.40, 10 cents it is in California for per trip, which is $1.40. And 86.88, Lyft tells me that it's two items, two credit card fees and commercial insurance. Okay, that's what I'm told, and I'm just relaying the message. So if you take $88.28 from 282, I'm left with 193. All right. So after that, now the external expenses, we have a 70-30 split guarantee. All right. And if you guys look at the numbers, after the I was at 192. 30% of 192, let's say $200 is $60. And look at Lyft take rate, $60 out of whatever was remaining after external expenses, Chris. So they pegged me at base rates. They will peg drivers right at 70-30, period. And if you're below it, on Thursday, you will get your adjustment. I think I'm going to get a couple of dollars in adjustment on this. But when Lyft came out with this, wonderful guarantee that they sold as PR, amazing. So I'm going to make it easy for you guys. For me, take rate is what the passenger paid and what I actually received without tips. Okay. This is not difficult. So the total, the passenger pay was 282. My ride earnings, as you guys can see on the bottom in the middle screenshot, was 132. That's Lyft took about 53%. I took about 47%. And that's, let's say 50-50. That's where it's going to be. If you're pegged at 70-30, it's going to be 50-50. Lyft took 50%. I'm not buying any of this external fees. Because for 118 miles, Chris, on booked miles, right? Lyft ended up paying $88.28 in commercial insurance, buddy. That's 70 cents a mile. That's nuts.
Yeah, that's insane.
I'm not buying any of it. Okay. So, and my concern now is that actually I want to do that. I want to test that. And if any of you have experienced that, please send me your screenshots. You know how Lyft sometimes throws you a crazy ride challenge, right? Mm-hmm. I've seen screenshots that the ride challenge was like 100 tips for $500, right? And the driver does it. Guess what the external fees were on that, Chris? $500. So I'm going to go like, are they going to giving you on one hand and taking it on the other way? I need to study this more. But here's the bottom line with the 70-30. Lyft, on their blog, when they announced this 2 weeks ago, which we were a part of, they said 15% of drivers were always below the 70-30 threshold, and 85% were above the 70-30 threshold. What are the odds this algo is going to do 70-30 for everyone? So raise the bottom 15% a little bit and lower the rest of it right to 70-30. What do you think, Chris? You think they're going to do that?
I think that's going to be the way they're going to do it. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's what I thought.
We talked about.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that's the reality of it. That's what we talked about. I have a feeling that's going to happen. I think we're going to have to look at this a little bit more. Yeah, it's going to be really interesting too to see when it comes to these bonuses. So, I'm going to have to dig into it. We'll probably have to do a couple of different situations and scenarios. I do get a couple of Lyft questions once in a while.
I think you need to take more than you're getting. Virtual screen down.
What's up? What happened, Serge?
Oh, no. Okay. Are we back? Yeah, I think you need to take your back screen down. But long story short,
it's whatever Chrome update happened. It's like StreamYard is like going crazy right now.
Okay.
With whatever.
Anyway, so hopefully we'll finish the show in one piece. It was very disappointing to me. It really was. I mean, $11 after expenses, and after expenses, 18 per active hour, Mr. Risher, it's not there. It really is not there. And it all depends on incentives And if I'm going to be pegged at 70-30 without incentives, I'm never going to be above 70%. So to me, it's pretty obvious what's happening. And at base rates, that's the best I can do in LA on a weekend. And I'm going to keep testing this. I'm going to go out, on a later shift. I'm going to start at like 5 p.m. and go to midnight or later to see if my earnings are going to improve. But I don't think they're going to improve that much. There is no surge in LA, Chris. There is no surge. None. Zero. And when there is no surge and you're driving for base rates with upfront fares,
You're in a hard
it's
place.
dismal. It's frustrating. And even with positioning myself correctly, because I know that even if I position myself correctly, the next trip I'm going to get is going to be a base fare anyway. What's the point, right? Might as well take everything and go. So anyway, David Risher is a great guy. Yeah, he's a great guy, but he has his job to do, and he has to do what he has to do, and we have to do what we have to do, and we have to make a decision as drivers. Do we continue working for $18 an hour before expenses all 9 hours? I'm saying, talk, have a heart-to-heart talk with yourselves, drivers. Again, we're a rideshare channel. We don't want to lose any drivers, but it's time to have that reality check.
You got to figure out your needs first, and is this meeting your needs is the real question. So if it's not meeting your needs, then figure something else out. As Levi said, have a exit strategy just in case, or, you have to have multiple fires burning, plan B, C, D, just in case. So in the events that times are slow, like they are right now, who knows how long this is going to last for? It may last, a couple more months. It may last a couple weeks. It may last another year and a half. Who knows? So the question is, how are you doing? Are you dipping into savings? Are you dipping into, money that you put away for other things? Are you able to sustain where you're at? Are you actually able to profit? Where are you at? And then, you can base the decisions off that. Because when the good times are coming, I mean, everything's ebbs and flows. So we're going to have the slow times. We're going to have good times. Just depends on when the good times are coming. So you can always take a little break from Uber and Lyft, or food delivery or whatever it is. Go get a job for a little while, because some of these jobs, like delivering pizzas or flipping burgers or standing at Target or whatever it might be, it could be something that's temporary, and then you're not putting any miles on the cars or anything like that. You could get a little reprieve there, but it just depends on what you guys need to do or where you're at. So have that serious conversation with yourself.
Yeah, to answer Carrie B, your question, yes, he's going to come on in April, sometime first couple of weeks of April. Obviously, he's not going to take audience questions, but I will ask him direct questions. Look, I'm going to have another decent talk with him. I'm told that he's coming on, so that's the latest I know. But look, at the moment, rideshare, with the risks you're taking as a full-time driver, part-time driver, driving extra miles, putting extra miles on your car after expenses may not be worth it. I'm telling you, I'm being super honest. And that's where we are at the moment on both apps too. Maybe Uber is a little bit better, but I'm going to keep testing. I'll keep driving different shifts, different days, but no incentives, base rates, no surge. This is where the business is at.
All right, thanks for watching. That short little clip was from our live stream, Show Me the Money Club with Sergio and myself, Tuesdays, 6 p.m. Eastern, 3 p.m. Pacific. Make sure you subscribe, turn on all notifications so you get notified when we go live, as well as all of our awesome content. Make sure to check out this video right here, which will take you to the entire live stream, or check out this video right there. All right, drive smart, everyone.